guys, Laura here. I'm back. I'm here to do another video. So I am going to talk about some of the sequels that I am hoping to prioritize in 2021. I did like a big long list of like sequel books that are coming out in 2021 that I really want to read. But these are just books that like I've had on my TBR for quite a while, and I'm trying to get a little bit better at reading sequels. That's actually one of my goals. I've actually been doing pretty good at it, minus this month because I'm filming this in February, and I tend to read a lot of contemporary standalones in that month. But so yeah, let's get into it. The first series I really do want to finish is the Circle Open series by Tamara Pierce. I finished the Alana, that whole like 9 series set a while ago, but this is the second series, and I really love the first series, which was the Circle. I don't know what the series is called, but it's like the first set of that. The first one I struggled a little bit, but this is Briar's book, and I think Briar's like one of my favorite characters, so I'm hoping to give it a little bit of some love this year and just tackle the rest of it because I really do like it, and they're pretty quick reads. Some of them are on Audible and some of them aren't because the series came out a while ago. Another book series that a friend sent me was Warriors of Wing and Flame by Sarah B. Larson. This is the sequel to Sisters of Shadow of Light, and I loved the first book when I read it, and my friend sent me a copy of the second one during the pandemic. And I just love that this book was focused on sisters. It was a really unique fantasy book, and I hope that I get around to the sequel soon. This cover is also very different, and I really like it. And then another book that's really high on my TBR is The Blood Witch by Susan Dennard. I do have to reread Truth Witch and Wind Witch because it's been a bit, and the fourth book is coming out like soon. I don't know if I read like 90 pages of this or not, but I don't think I did. But this is one that I definitely do want to read. I just have to actually reread the other books in the series before I get around to it. But this is definitely a priority because I do want to be caught up by the time the last book in the series came out. And these are two new ones that I just got. All the Tides and Vape by Adeline Grace. I got this from Owl Crate. I didn't even like untag it out of the packaging. But this is the sequel to All the Stars and Teeth. Break the curse, save the kingdom, reclaim her magic. The queen must prevail. This is such a pretty book, and it's one that I'm dying to read. So I hope that I'm able to get to it. It does have a romance, so it may be like in my February TBR. We will see. And then the other book that I wanted to talk about is A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kimmerer. This was I think it might be the final book in the Emberfall series. This is the sequel. This is the last book in the A Heart So Fierce and Broken and A Curse So Dark and Lonely series. I really like the first two, and I'm excited to see where this book sort of winds up. And a couple of other series that I'm sort of in the middle of is I'm in the middle of the Queen's Poisoner series by Jeff Wheeler, which I read 2 books in it, and I'm still making my way through it. I'm also read book 1 in the Mistborn series, which I liked. I didn't love. I also read book 1 in the Assassin's Apprentice series by Robin Hobb. Again, I liked it. I didn't love it. I also read book 1 in the City of Brass series. I liked it, but I didn't love it. A lot of these books I just sort of read and I enjoyed them, but I didn't really want to continue. I also have to finish reading the Spin the Dawn series because the sequel's been out for like, at this point, like half a year, and I just have not got around to finishing it. But also Holopox, which is actually over there. I got that one from Owl Crate as well in a couple of days ago from their book box. But yeah, so I'm really excited for some of these sequels that are on my list. Sequels are always a little bit hard for me, and I think I'm going to turn this into like a mini discussion. It's just that like, especially because I used to go to conventions so much, and now we can't because of the pandemic and everything, but it was more likely that you would get new series at these conventions because that's where the publicity was. You would get sequels sometimes. But I found it was more likely you'd get like a new series to read rather than a sequel for a book. And because I was trying my hardest to like, support these people or like, read those books first, those are the books that just got read. And then my sequels just kind of got shoved to the side. And then I just never read them. And then by the time I would go back to them, I would have to reread the other books in the series, and it just became such a tedious process. And I think also Haley and Booklands in it really, really well. I want to give you guys new content, and like I find like those reading blogs to be more vague and less specific because I can't like just talk like about all my feelings unless I make them spoiler reading blogs, and then if I make them spoiler reading blogs, who's really gonna watch it? So that's sort of a mindset. But I vlog everything that I read, except if like I'm not feeling well or something. Like I always vlog, so I'm always have a vlog going, and most of the times they get posted. Um, but that like I feel bad about sequels because I do want a complete series. That's definitely a goal because it's funny because like whenever I finish book, I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait for book two. And there are some books that I purposely pre-ordered this year. I pre-ordered like four to five sequels just so I could physically have them, and then by the time that the book but because I also made a new goal for myself to once I buy a book, I read it immediately. That's a goal that I'm really going to try to stick to because it really does motivate me a little bit more to like read the books that I buy and not just leave them off to the side and like not complete them. It's not easy though because there's a lot of options and I sometimes get a little bit overwhelmed. I'm actually going to do a massive unhaul around like the start of the summer just because I'm trying to lessen the books I physically own, especially right now because we don't have a convention season really. Like I can really like unhaul a lot, and then whenever we go back to conventions, I can just sort of like have a little bit more space. But yeah, so that's sort of my thoughts on sequels. I do want to prioritize them a little bit more in my reading light. I do want to read more sequels, and these are just the six that the series that I'm most interested in completing. Also, there's some middle grade series that I really do need to catch up on. The Wings of Fire series is a longer series. The Keeper of the Lost Cities, I still need to read one book in. And then the Unwanted series by Lisa McMahon is another series that I've had on my list for a while. I read book one and I haven't continued. But again, those are just some series that I just really would like to make some more progress on. So this was kind of a TBR and a mini discussion. Let me know what are some sequels that are high on your TBR in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys for my next video.